And let me see. I'll put this like this, a little further out. I will here because I don't want to see myself while I'm recording. I will also start this. Start recording. All right. Huh? I'm gonna read my shit the way I read it. That's it. So I'm not gonna be looking at this. I'll just let you look at this so that you can see it, because that's a distraction. I don't want it, and I won't have to. Well, yeah, actually, I will do this. I will put the timer on. Uh, where is it? All right. We'll leave the lighter over here. So when you need it, you have it. Some cigarettes go over there. I'm gonna even smoke on it. Fuck it. There's a reason why I'm Bad Boy Buddha. I fucking smoke. So I'm gonna be comfortable here. That's why I'm Bad Boy Buddha. I smoke and I'm not ashamed of it. Where are you? Where are you? Settings battery. Here we go. Where is it? Stopwatch. There we go. All right. Then we'll do. Okay. So, ah, ah. It is being taped because I could always edit and trim it. you know. Yeah, you like that? It's like, get the fuck out of here. I'm Bad Boy Buddha. I'm Bad Boy Buddha. I say it in here. I say my bad boy days were over. Okay, wait. Let's not go that far. Let's not. As a matter of fact, let's not go that far at all. That's not even halfway true. That's not true at all. That's not even true today. My bad boy days will never be over. So deal with it. I am who I am. Love me or fucking don't. Whatever. I have something more important than my smoking to say. You know, fuck them. It's all good. It's all God. It's all good. Anyway, all right. So, okay. So, namaste, hello, and welcome, my fellow brothers and sisters. My name is B, which is short for Bad Boy Buddha. I am a modern day foul mouthed poet and prophet, and I'm here to share with each and every one of you a message of hope. For many of you, this message will literally be one of salvation, as it was for me. It is a message of power, of incredible strength. It is a message that in these incredibly difficult times that we face as a nation, as a people, and as a race, make no mistake about it. I say this with the utmost of urgency that this video is beyond a doubt the most important video that most of you will ever see in your lifetime. The best way that I can describe it, it is a life-changing attitude overhaul. And this life-changing attitude overhaul has given me and will give every one of you happiness, freedom, and courage. It will give you the power and the ability to face and conquer, to overcome whatever life throws at you. Most of you know by now that on top of the daily hardships that we face every day as just a part of life, that if certain things don't change and change quickly, we are headed in a direction that, well, will make the life that we live today seem like paradise in comparison. Most of all, it's given me purpose, and it will give every one of you an unshakable inner peace. Peace of mind, body, heart, and soul. It will give you direction and purpose. It will make every moment of every day truly amazing. Every moment that passes, every moment of every day is for me and will be for you remarkable, breathtaking, exciting, and fun regardless of what's going on in your life. Feelings of fear, anxiety, worry, concern, anger, helplessness, hopelessness, and sadness will be a thing of the past. By the end of this video, I guarantee that you will be able to do things you never thought you'd be able to do, and it will be effortless for you to do them. Let me make this clear. I am not here to save the world. It is my firm belief that you are perfect the way you are and the world is already saved. I am just doing my part. The part that has been assigned for me to do is to deliver this message to all of mankind. It is a message that has been delivered throughout our history for thousands of years. And through the same message, mankind over and over has proven that it is the most powerful motivator for change. And most importantly, that it works. It has freed us countless times from the chains of oppression. It has abolished slavery time and time again. Mahatma Gandhi used this message to free India's 300 million people. Martin Luther King Jr. used it to free 20 million of his brothers and sisters out of the hands and out of the bonds of inequality. Out of the bonds of inequality. This is a message of love and how love for one another can change the course of history. Love for humanity has toppled empires. It has overcome the harshest of persecutions, and has made it crystal clear to the ruling class, to those who seek to control and dominate and rule the world, that this is a battle they can never win. Because throughout history and to this day, there will always be more of us than there are of them. The time has come once again for this message to be said, to be delivered, and it will be this message of love that takes us into a new era of possibility, prosperity, and freedom. Are we not slaves today? You bet your ass we are. And the type of slaves that we are today pale in comparison to the slavery of our ancestors. Those who seek to keep us enslaved today, very much like ourselves, have evolved into a totally different species. They have learned from their past mistakes that whips and chains, they can only hold us for so long. Instead, they're more cunning than they've ever been. They use stealth and secrecy. They manipulate us through the media, through commercials, through well spoken politicians. But most of all, they use the one weapon that if we don't take back from them, we are sure to lose everything we own and everything we are. That weapon that I speak of is that of willing consent. The power to control our minds and make us think that we are making decisions for ourselves, when in fact, as being slaves to debt by bankers, fear and control by our government, addicted and convinced by pharmaceutical companies that we need their drugs to cope with life, and among many others that compose the global elite, making decisions for ourselves is the farthest thing from the truth. And hey, listen, I want to make this very clear to you right now. I am not pointing fingers here. I'm not going to blame the global elite. They are not the enemy. I am also not going to blame us, the people, for the situations we find ourselves in nowadays, because the truth is, it is not our fault either. It's not our fault that we've allowed them to control us, and it's not their fault for wanting to control us. They have only done what is in their nature to do based on their life experience, and we have only done what is in our nature to do based, for the most part, on our manipulated life experience. There's a story about a frog and a scorpion. Many of you have heard it. It goes something like this: a frog and a scorpion, they're standing on the bank of a river, and the scorpion says to the frog, "Yo, frog, help me out, man. I need to get to the other side. Let me, hitch a ride on your back, The frog says, dude, what do you think? I'm stupid? If I let you climb on my back, you're going to sting me. And then we'll both drown. Not happening. So the scorpion says, my man, you think I don't know that? Come on. Don't be ridiculous. I don't want to die. Come on, help me out. The frog says, yeah, I guess you're right. Hop on. Halfway across the river, the scorpion stings the frog. And the frog says, dude, what the fuck? Now we're both doomed. And the scorpion says, I couldn't control myself. I'm a scorpion. That's what I do. And they both drowned. End of story. And they both drowned. End of story. So, if we cannot blame the powers that be, and we cannot blame ourselves, then who the fuck is responsible for all this shit? Well, by the end of this video, you will know the answer to that question. And once you know this undeniable truth, as a great teacher once said, it will make you free. And the freedom you will experience will be unlike anything that in your wildest dreams you ever thought you could have. That I promise you. Now, it's going to take some time, i.e., the length of this video, or audiobook, or ebook. I have put it in all three formats. By the time this message has been delivered in its entirety, rest assured that everything will fall into place. Everything will make perfect sense, and I have put this information together for you in no bullshit, no fluff, simple layman terms that anybody can understand. In the end, the time you invest here with me will pay off in more ways than you can count. Let's begin. Once again, my name is B, short for Bad Boy Buddha. I'm not a teacher, a guru, a master, or a motivational coach. As a matter of fact, I'm quite the opposite of all those things. If anything, I'm an unmotivational coach because it is my experience that to have everything you want in life, you need to stop trying to achieve it. Let me explain what I mean by that. There's a parable about the Chinese parable, goes back a long time, about an old alley cat like me. One day, this old cat is walking along when he sees this kitten, and this kitten is losing his mind chasing his tail over and over and over again. So the alley cat says to him, hey, Junior, what in God's name are you doing? The little kitten says to him, all excited and shit, I just got out of the cat university where I learned that all the happiness in a cat's life is in his tail. So if I could just get a hold of my tail, I'll be happy for the rest of my life. The alley cat says, you know what? You're right, Junior. It is true that all the happiness in a cat's life is in his tail. But you know what? In all my years, I've learned something. That if I stop chasing my tail, for some reason, happiness just seems to follow me wherever I go. I love that story because it's so true. You know, there's a common expression, a formula that has been around for a very long time, and it is this: be, do, have. You know, stockbrokers call it act as if. The concept or interpretation behind be, do, have the majority of the time is that if you act like or pretend like how you want to be, then you will do the things necessary for you to have what you want. This is nothing new. Napoleon Hill said it in Think and Grow Rich. James Allen said it in As a Man Thinketh. Neville Goddard said it in Feeling is the Secret. And the movie called The Secret is based on that theory. They, along with many others, they imply that to manifest the things that you want in your life, you need to imagine, or rather intensely feel, that you already possess them. They say cut out pictures of you what you want, put it in a scrapbook, look at it every day, carry it around with you, make a list, read it out loud. Make a list of the things you want to do or the things you want in life. Read it out loud 3 times a day when you wake up, before you go to bed, etc. Now, I've done all those things, but in my experience, till this day, it's still very difficult to imagine having something that I don't even have, that I don't actually have. And while this strategy, listen, for some people it works, but for me, it has never worked. I can imagine and pretend or intensely feel to have the things I want in my life all day long. But if I really don't have them here and now, they're not real. So deep down inside, no matter how hard I try, to me, it's still no more than just wishful thinking. So I tend to give up, or rather, I lack the endurance, I lack the faith. Let me do that again. Stop the doors. Ayo, stop. Stop. All right. It's okay. And while that strategy might work for some people, it has never worked for me. Again, I can imagine, pretend, or intensely feel to have the things that I want in my life all day long. But if I don't have them here and now, they're not real. So deep down inside, no matter how hard I try, to me, it's still no more than just wishful thinking. So I tend to either give up, or rather, I lack the endurance, I lack the faith to hold on to those imaginary beliefs long enough to manifest them here in the physical world. Now, in no way, I'm going to say this, in no way am I taking away anything from these amazing authors and teachers. I have great respect and total admiration for them. I also want to add here emphatically that the strategies that I just described do in fact work. And yes, they are extremely necessary in the grand scheme of things. However, if you have to imagine, intensely feel, build that scrapbook, if you have to do all that, feel that you already have the things you want in your life, you are therefore doing. And if you are doing, you are skipping over the very first step of be, do, have. The be in be, do, have. In other words, instead of be, do, have, it is do, have, and then be. And that is not the formula. Before you do anything, which means nothing, before you do anything and before you have anything, first you have to be. But then the question is, be what exactly? The answer? What we all want to be. The only thing we want to be: happy. The next question is, how can we be happy without having the things that we want in our lives? The answer? By fully realizing that happiness, joy, and peace, inner peace, is our natural state of being. And when you are that, everything else just magically follows us around. It falls into place. Be happy. Then you'll do. And then you'll have. Be, do, have. I am 46 years old. I am an unemployed truck driver. I'm not a college grad or an Ivy League scholar. Matter of fact, I never graduated 6th grade. I come from an abusive, fucked up childhood. I've been homeless more than once. I have slept in homeless shelters, on park benches, and under staircases in the shittiest apartment buildings in the worst neighborhoods of the Bronx. I have slept on subway trains. I've shit in subway tunnels. And although looking at me today you wouldn't know it, I've got many fucking days without food. I've been addicted to drugs, sex, alcohol, food, and I have been financially poor for most of my life. By today's standards, I still am. And I've worked many jobs, from stock boy to stockbroker. I've been lonely, depressed, suicidal, four, fortunately for me, failed attempts. And the last time I tried it, I just came this fucking close. I've been hopeless, useless, desperate, used and abused. I've used and abused others as well. I've lied, cheated, stolen, hustled, and I've done more things that I'm ashamed of than I care to remember or talk about right now. I have three failed marriages with matching divorces and two beautiful grown women, my kids, that won't acknowledge my existence. I love them dearly, and to this day, I'm here. I'm doing my best to regain their trust and affection, but they are fucking pissed, and I don't blame them. My life was one of confusion, pain, disappointment, sorrow, guilt, and regret. What I'm sharing with you today turned everything around for me, as it will for you. It changed my life completely. Today, regardless of my past, my present, or my future, I can honestly say to you that I am truly happy all the time, every moment of every day, day and night for the last 5 years. Impossible? Look, it's like from one moment to the next, the old me died and a new me was born. When this change happened, it was just like death. It happened in an instant. It was definite and it was permanent, although it has never stopped evolving. The same power to turn your life completely around is available to you here and now. It can never be taken away. You can never lose it. It empowers you to direct your life in unfathomable and indescribable ways that will benefit you and the world around you. This message is for you, no matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you are in your life or where you're not. It doesn't matter what you have. It doesn't matter what you don't have. It doesn't matter what you've done, what you're doing, or what you think you're going to do in the future. Color, gender, age, race, educational background, religious beliefs, political affiliations. Here, they mean absolutely nothing. It doesn't matter if you're good or bad, rich or poor, if you're just starting out or you're on your way out. None of that matters. The only thing that matters in one word, none of that matters. In one word, here is what does: life. Your life. And living it to the fullest potential, getting the most out of life, getting maximum results when nothing gets in your way and nothing holds you back every moment of every day, starting now, today. That is what this message is about. It's also about understanding and knowing who you really are and what you, I, and others working together, what we are truly capable of achieving. And what exactly does that look like? It looks like a gargantuan benefit to all of mankind now and long after you and I are gone. This truly is that big. You may doubt it by right now. You know, you may think I'm a little nuts, but I absolutely know it to be. And soon enough, you will know it too. This message is about waking up. It's about coming together, working together in perfect harmony, dealing with and overcoming the many challenges that we as a people and as a race that we face today. However, Albert Einstein said, it's a fucking famous quote, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. In plain English, we cannot even begin to fix the problems that we have in our world until we fix ourselves first, until we fix our minds first, until we fix our thinking first. Our thinking first. I mean, look around. Poverty, illness, depression, our national debt, our personal debt, the global economy, the global elite, corruption. Speaking of this, you know, everywhere you look, politics, government, corporations, insurance, banking, Wall Street, big oil companies, big drug companies, how we are messing up this planet and bleeding it dry of every natural resource it has. Greed, oppression, war, addiction, divorce, intolerance, suffering, suffering, suffering. Holy shit! Haven't you just had about enough of this shit? I know I have. And if you feel the same way I do, if you feel like it's time for us to make a stand, then you're in the right place. Because the purpose of this message is to bring about a massive change to our level of consciousness, a change in perspective and in attitude that will empower us to create a world we can all be proud to be a part of. It's about a path of and to an enlightenment, for lack of a better word. Enlightenment, though, on a global scale, starting right here, right now, with you. And no, I'm not talking about meditating in some cave at the top of a mountain somewhere or sitting around like a pretzel for the next 20 years. Based on what I know, we don't have time for that. So I'm talking right here, right now, by the end of this video, starting today. You know? By the end of this video, you will experience changes in your life that no matter how hard I try, and I'm pretty good at it, but no matter how hard I try, I simply cannot put it in words. The end of all your suffering is the bare bones minimum. You know? By the end of this video, you will begin to experience a life free of stress, worry, anxiety, regret, anger, guilt, but most of all, freedom. Once and for all, from the number one menace to mankind, fear. By the end of this video, you will begin to experience a true, never ending, ever expanding, blissful, joyous, peaceful abundance of happiness. Life will no longer be a burden. Instead, it'll be a game that's easy to play and it's easy to win. It's light and fun and funny. By the end of this video, you will know how important you really are and how important your role in this game called life really is, especially now. By the end of this video, you will know that time, every single moment of it, it can either be priceless or worthless. By the end of this video, you are going to get so much more than you think you're going to get. Now, for you to be able to achieve the results by the time we reach the end of our time together, there's a requirement, one requirement, and a price you will have to pay. Now, I want you to put away your checkbooks and your wallets. I wish it was that easy. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But for now, understand that although this video is informative, educational, inspiring, funny at times, I'm a little wacko, who isn't? But most of all, it is for real. This is not some hack job Geraldo show where after 2 hours of waiting to see what Al Capone left behind in his safe, it comes up empty. You remember that? Fuck 2 hours of Metamucil commercials to come up empty. In this episode that we're showing you right now, what you will get is what you pay for. And believe me, that gold, silver, and diamonds are nothing compared to the value that you will find inside of you. You! Everything that I am saying is possible for you to have. It actually is. Is it achievable? Absolutely. Is it achievable by the end of this video? Absolutely. Is it achievable by you by the end of this video? No. Nowhere near it. First and foremost, we need to address the two biggest challenges that you and I have: trust and truth. Trust and truth. Trust and truth is something that we need to get extremely clear about, because what you take away from our time together will depend entirely on your ability to trust yourself. Trust, look, it's like trust is a hurdle, and like any other hurdle, you're gonna have to jump, you're gonna have to stretch, both feet are gonna be off the ground, and you're not gonna know how it's gonna turn out until you land on the other side. That's trust. Pretend for a moment that you're at a track, as in track and field, okay? Track and field, 6, 7 lanes, whatever. All right. And you are looking at 10 hurdles, 10 of those hurdles in your lane, all right, in front of you, right in front of you, for two reasons. You and I, because we don't know each other, and because what I have to share with you will most probably be something like you have never encountered before. So you and I are in a situation right now at this moment where the hurdles that you're looking at are neck high. Now, unless you're an Olympic athlete, and I'm pretty sure that neck high hurdles would be difficult even for them. But based on A, we don't know each other, and B, you have no idea what's coming. If I told you to trust me and you just took off, chances are that at the very first hurdle, you would topple over, you'd break your neck, and you know what? You deserve it. You know? Seriously, though, think about this for a second. How many times in our lives do we put faith in the goodness of humanity? How many times? How many times do we put our trust in someone, like our government, for example? You know, maybe it's a car salesman, a stranger. Sometimes we put our trust in someone we love or someone we think we know. And a lot of times, crash, crash. And you know what? Straight up, we can blame them all we want, all day long. We can blame them all we want. But the reality is this: that we didn't trust them. We took a chance. We put ourselves at risk rather than being strong enough to trust in ourselves with our own well being. Correct me if I'm wrong, but only we are responsible for what happens in our lives based on the choices we make. And if we put ourselves in a position where we could get fucked on that one, we have no one to blame but ourselves, period. Another way to put it in one word: accountability. Being accountable for our actions. For example, somebody you love, they ask you to lend them 5 grand. You love them. What do? If you have the 5 grand, you lend it to them. You lend it to them. Then, if something happens where they cannot pay you back or don't pay you back, it destroys the relationship. Was it worth it? Usually, the answer to that is no. And it happens all the time. Why do you think there is a saying that says never lend money or go into business with family or friends, someone you love? Now, let's consider as an alternative, okay? Same situation. Somebody you love asks you to lend them 5 grand. Here's the alternative. Don't do it. Or if the person really needs your help and helping them, this is the most important part, that helping or trusting someone else won't put you in a position where you'll find yourself in trouble. Instead of entering into an agreement or a commitment that comes with the potential of causing suffering or ruining the relationship, i.e., the lending of money, if you can do it, give it to them instead. Expect nothing in return if they really need your help. And then make it clear that that is what you are doing. Look, if you pay me back, fantastic. If you can't, don't worry about it. And if you can't do it for whatever reason, then don't. And if that is going to change how that person feels about you, then that is their problem, not yours. You're doing what you are supposed to do, which is being responsible for your own well being. And if anything, they should respect you for that. And if they don't, oh well, such is life. Let's take it a step further. Infidelity. Infidelity. This is a good one. You marry someone or you are with someone and they cheat on you. That's a hard one. You trust this person and they betrayed you. Did they? We put our happiness in the hands of someone else. We gave them the power, whether they do it or not, to hurt us. And if or when they do, we blame them. Does that even remotely sound like a responsible thing to do? And we're not going to get into that one right now because it's a little tricky to understand, and we will later. But rest assured that by the end of this video, you will most probably see things very differently when it comes to that as well. But for now, moving on. I'm not going to ask you to trust me. What I am going to do, what I'm doing, is slowly developing your muscles with small hurdles at first. Only as high as you feel you are confident that you can handle, and regardless of the outcome, that you will not hurt yourself in the process. Then, little by little, as you keep landing on your feet time and time again, I will have earned your trust and the right to ask you the privilege to ask of you to kick it up a notch, which is where that saying comes from. The hurdles, kicking them up a notch. But understand that I will never ask you to jump higher than you feel you are ready to jump. And why won't I ask you to jump higher than you're comfortable with? Because your trust is extremely valuable to me. The relationship that you and I have and can continue to have adds value to my life. And to jeopardize that is to jeopardize my own well being. Make sense? I am comfortable with the person, with who I am as a person. You see me, I'm smoking here. I am who I am, man. I'm bad boy Buddha. This is what bad boy Buddha does. I have everything I need to be complete in my life. If a million people look at this video, if no one looks at this video, all I know is that I've done my part. I have everything I need to be complete. I'm ready to check out now. So I do not need to, nor will I ask anything of you that would put you in a position of potential harm. To hurt you would be to hurt myself. That being said, now let's talk about truth. That's a word. Truth. If there is even such a thing that we can call truth nowadays. As far as the truth goes, look at it this way. We are just going to call it that for lack of a better word. Things become indescribable when you see them clearly. They're more than what you think they are. The word truth, when I use it here today, from here on out, it will be short for something that you realize deep down inside that you feel safe believing to be as close to accurate as possible based on your own level of experience. Let me repeat that. The word truth, when I say that word, it means that this is something that you realize deep down inside that you will feel safe believing to be, that you'll be safe believing it, that it is the closest thing to accurate as possible based on what you have experienced in your life. So, in essence, what I'm saying, let me see. Okay, so in essence, this is what it means. This is what that means. That you will trust that you are smart enough to recognize and to know the truth when you see it and when you hear it for yourself. To know the truth, period. Not to think you know the truth, not to believe you know the truth, but to know beyond any doubt the truth. You know how you know beyond any doubt the truth? Stick your hand in fire. You'll get burned. Chances are. Stick your hand in it again. You know beyond any doubt if you do the same thing, you're going to get the same result. That's what I'm talking about. And the truth is not going to come from me. There is no such thing as me telling you what is true. If that was even possible, you shouldn't, or rather, wouldn't believe it anyway. Because it is against your nature to do so. The truth is not something that I can say. The truth is something that can only be known, and it can only be known, according to the Course in Miracles, it can only be known through a personal experience, your own personal experience. That's what I believe. What I believe, not what anybody else tells me. Now, for example, I said if there's anything we could call truth nowadays, where do we find truth nowadays? Thanks to our parents, our educational system, where they don't teach you how to learn, they teach you to learn. There's a difference. Society, religion, the media, corporations, politicians, advertisers, and salespeople. Because of those people, the saying has gone, don't believe everything you hear, to don't believe anything you hear. Those of us who are smart or somewhat intelligent, we can breathe. We don't know what to believe anymore. We are fucking terrified to believe anything anymore. We don't trust each other, and the fact is, for reasons we've already spoken about, most of us don't even trust ourselves. And even if we do trust ourselves, it's never all the time. This message will absolutely change that. Look, man, going into this, as I said before, I'm not expecting you to believe anything I say. Why would you? You don't know me. How do you know you can trust me? You can't. So then how do we get from here to the end? Small hurdles. The first hurdle, relax. This is just you and I having a conversation. That's all it is. And all it'll be. A one sided conversation at that. You know? I'm not going to put any voodoo on you, any hocus pocus. I'm not going to brainwash you or hypnotize you or try to sell you on my ideas or my ways of thinking. The fact is that that is the furthest thing from the truth. If you haven't figured it out by now, this it's about empowering you to accurately think for yourself, to have a mind of your own, free from any influence but your very own, as it is meant to be. The truth will speak for itself. All I'm going to do is lay it out. I'm going to lay out the facts as I know them to be for me. You discover the truth on your own and for yourself. No idea how many people don't do that. They live their lives being pushed around on what they should do or need to do or have to do. You know, we are punished for not following the rules, and we are rewarded. If you call it that, we are convinced that what we're being given is a reward for abiding by them. Think about it, you know? So just relax and think of me as a long lost friend, a buddy. I'm giving you the details about this great adventure that I've been on for the last 5 years, baby. And hey, who knows? If it sounds good enough to believe, if it sounds good enough for you, if it sounds good enough as I am telling you it is, give it a shot if you want to. Okay, so now let's talk about what is required for you to achieve the results that we've been talking about, and then we'll talk about the price you'll have to pay. What is required on your part is 100% focus. Here's what I mean by that, and more importantly, a simple way for you to achieve it during our time together. There will be times during this video, for example, when your mind, because of your life experience, it will distract you with questions, doubts, fears, opinions, and judgments. Pay no mind to them because for right now, this still is a one sided conversation. For right now, and by the end of this video, chances are none of them will matter. If you do happen to wander off in thought, and you will, the human mind has 60,000 thoughts a day. So there is no way that you're not going to get distracted from time to time. Here's the key. Once you catch yourself doing that, stop the video immediately and rewind it back to where you stopped listening, to where you lost your focus. And how will you know that you stopped paying attention? Well, all of a sudden, you'll get impatient. What I'm saying to you won't make any sense. Stop the tape, take a break, go back to where you were, and then when you're ready, forward, march. You see, it's been proven that it is impossible to give your complete focus to more than one thing at a time. So if you're thinking about something that I said that applies to you, that you can relate to, that you disagree with, etc., if you are thinking and I am talking, then you will be missing out on vital information that you will need to understand what you will hear when you start paying attention again. Don't just keep going. It is extremely important that you stop the video and go back to the last part you remember. It's that simple. That's the requirement. Now for the price. First of all, like I said, I wish it was as easy as cash. You have to be patient. This is a process that cannot be rushed. There are several reasons why it must be done in this way, at least according to the conductor. You don't put your clothes on and then take a shower. You follow me? Secondly, secondly, and this will be a lot harder than you think. What I am about to ask of you has personally given me. And if you can allow yourself to just let go, if you can muster the courage to truly trust yourself, it will give you a tremendous ability to learn, acquire, and retain wisdom beyond your wildest dreams. Leo Tolstoy wrote it beautifully once in a quote. Even the strongest current of water cannot add a drop to a cup which is already full. The most difficult subjects can be explained to the most slow witted man if he has not formed any idea of them already. But the simplest thing cannot be made clear to the most intelligent man if he is firmly persuaded that he already knows without a shadow of a doubt what is laid before him. End quote. Let me read that again. Even the strongest current of water cannot add a drop to a cup which is already full. The most difficult subjects, and the most difficult things to learn can be explained to the dumbest motherfucker on earth, as long as he hasn't formed any idea of them already. But the fucking simplest thing cannot be made clear to the smartest man in the world if he already believes without a doubt that what is in front of him is what it is. And Bad Boy Buddha quote. With that in mind, no matter, and here's the fucking price. I know. I'm making a big deal of it because this is going to be a big one. But this is still not the biggest hurdle. Nowhere fucking near it. All right? Nowhere near it. Trust me on that. So here's the deal. No matter what you hear me say, postpone your judgments, your questions, and your opinions until the very end. That's it. That's the price. In other words, pretend just for our time together that everything I say to you is without question the absolute truth. At the end of this video, when I'm done, you can question, doubt, fear, disagree, and reject everything I've said. You don't have to believe any of it or accept any of it. If you have a question along the way, chances are that it'll be answered by the time we're done. Once you have all of the information in front of you, then decide if I'm either a lunatic or there just might be some validity to what I have shared with you. If you can do that, I know, man, that you will walk away happier than you have ever been in your life. So I implore you, my brothers and sisters. I know I'm a little wacky and crazy. It's the way I express myself. I'm from fucking New York. What do you expect? You know? But listen, I'm serious. I implore you, pay the price. Stay with me to the end and then decide for yourself. Not some critic or some write up or a comment underneath this fucking video. Decide for yourself. Decide for yourself if this simple, I'm laying it out for you, small, most people, look, this is a one-time investment, and when I say it's a small investment, although I believe that time is the most, literally, the most amazing thing in the world to give up. But I used to play video games, and the reason that I don't play video games anymore is because I looked at the statistics of the game once, and I saw that I had spent oh god, this sucks. I had spent the total of like 34 days of my life on that one game. So, however long this video takes, I promise you that this will be, decide for yourself if it isn't the best investment you've ever made. Now, we have a lot of ground to cover, so let's get to it. I said before that I'm here to pass along to you an easy to understand roadmap or path of and to enlightenment. Enlightenment, what does that mean exactly? Well, to me, enlightenment is short for, and you heard me say this before, it's short for a true, never ending, ever expanding, blissful, joyous, peaceful abundance of happiness and more. Imagine having that in every way you could possibly conceive. Enlightenment in every area of your life, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially, physically, romantically. What kind of life would that be for you? you know, that's my life. Now, I've also told you that I'm only a messenger. The path that I am sharing with you is a combination of the many paths that were laid out long before I came along. So let me be clear about two things: what I am here to do and what I am not here to do. Let's start with that one first. I am not here to enlighten you. Only you can do that for yourself. And you can do that by paying the price, by letting go and trusting that you can recognize the truth when you see it, when you hear it for yourself. Period. I am not here to help you because that, and this is a fact, I cannot. There are three fundamental reasons why I cannot help you, even if I wanted to. Reason number one: I can't help you because only you can help yourself. I can only show you the door. You still have to be the one that walks through it. I'm not here to be your guru, your master, or your teacher. I am not better than you, and I am not smarter than you. You and I were born equal. We are still equal, and we will never be anything other than equal. I cannot do anything for you that having the same resources you cannot do for yourself. That having the same resources you wouldn't do for yourself. You will realize soon enough that you already have everything you need right here, right now, today. Reason number two: I am not here to help you because it is against your nature to let me help you. We are born equal and we are also born free. It is our nature to be independent. Have you ever tried to help a child do something only to have them pull away from you because they don't want your help? They know instinctively that they don't need your help. They want to do it for themselves. Why? Because it feels right and it feels good to do it for themselves. Independence and freedom to be who we are is what gives us any value, and it's what makes us valuable to others. We only grow stronger through our own struggles. It gives us pride, it gives us self confidence, and that is just how we are created. That is our nature. And reason number three: I cannot give you or help you get something that you already have. And remember the price: opinions, disagreements at the end. Everything I say to you for now, the absolute truth. And here it is. You were born enlightened. It is your birthright. It is your natural state of being. You have always had it, and there has never been a time in your life when you haven't had it. Here, I'll prove it to you. If I were to ask you right now, what would it be like to be enlightened? I bet that every single one of you would start pounding me answer upon answer about what it means to be enlightened. It means being happy, self confident, having people you love in your life, being fearless, having love, passion, compassion, etc., etc., etc. And you know what? Every single answer would be right. Then, if I asked you if you wanted a life, if you wanted to live a life of enlightenment in every area of your life, what would you say? No, fuck you, kiss my ass. Of course. Of course not. Matter of fact, if I told you that I could, beyond any doubt, and you knew this for a fact, that I could deliver this enlightenment, or what you perceive to be enlightenment, to every area of your life, and all I needed was a signed blank check, the only question most of you would probably have is, where the fuck do I send it to? Right? So you see, you already know what enlightenment is, and you already know you want it. So the only questions are, what has stopped you, or what is stopping you from having it, but more importantly, how to get it and keep it every moment, every day, for the rest of your life. To answer both of those questions, that is what we are here to do and what we will do. This video and the message in it has been designed to show you what is in your way, what is stopping you, and once you know what that is, you are home free. Literally. Once you have a clear understanding of what has kept you from the life of your dreams, what has kept you from experiencing total freedom, you will be unstoppable. And by the way, that thing that is in your way and is also, by the way, the culprit, responsible. And by the way, that thing that is in your way is also the culprit responsible. It is the cause of all unhappiness, greed, oppression, suffering, of every ill, of every woe, and of all evil that exists in society and in the world today. Once you know who and what is responsible for all the roadblocks we have, you will be able to plow the road, to clear away the dust, the debris, all the garbage that you didn't even know was obstructing your path to lifelong enlightenment, for lack of a better word. And best of all, the creme de la creme. Are you ready for this one? No, you're not ready. Before I tell you the best part, I have to remind you of the price you agreed to pay. And from now on, all I'll say is, hey, remember the price. Remember that by continuing to watch this video, that you will wait until the very end to doubt, question, or disagree. That for the time that we are together, that everything I say to you is absolute truth. So, if you pay the price, then now you're ready to hear the best part of your journey to lifelong freedom and happiness. The best part, the creme de la creme, is that to overcome every obstacle that stands between you and reaching your destination will be effortless. Let me explain to you in a quite unusual way, but it's extremely effective. Uh, it's an analogy about what I mean when I say effortless, man. I will also use from time to time during our conversation to prove a point here and there. I'll refer back to this analogy, and believe me when I say to you, you'll get it. So here it is. Get ready. It's in the form of a question. How many of you I'm going to give you some time to think about that question. How many of you have ever eaten a piece of shit? I'm not going to say that no one in the world has ever eaten a piece of shit. Babies do it all the time, but by the look on their face, it doesn't look yummy. But I know that it's probably safe to say that the percentage of grown people who have actually eaten a piece of shit is pretty small. And why is that safe to say? Because it's fucking disgusting. That's why, right? It turns your stomach to even think about it. Now, I don't know for a fact that it is indeed disgusting because I've never done it. And to tell you the truth, I don't think I ever have or ever will need the desire to find out. Why? Because it's a piece of shit. You see, it doesn't matter. It doesn't require any effort on your part whatsoever to not eat a piece of shit. No matter how beautiful I paint it, no matter how much I may try to convince you to eat a piece of shit, no matter how small, the vast majority of you are not going to do it. And yet, again, I'm not pointing any fingers out here, but the fact is that we eat. Okay, go. Go. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. Go ahead. It's fine. Do it again. We'll edit. You see, it doesn't require any effort on your part whatsoever to not eat a piece of shit, no matter how beautiful I paint it, no matter how much I may try to convince you not to eat a piece of shit. No, I got to do that again. I'll cut that part out. Okay. You see, it doesn't require any effort on your part whatsoever to not eat a piece of shit, no matter how beautiful I paint it, no matter how much I may try to convince you to eat a piece of shit, no matter how small, the vast majority of you are not going to do it. And yet, and again, I'm not pointing any fingers out here, but the fact is this, man, we eat pieces of shit all the time. For example, when we sign on that dotted line and let credit card companies charge us unbelievable amounts of interest to buy shit that in reality we don't really need. And by the time it's paid off, most of the time, we don't even own that shit anymore. That is what we refer to as having nothing to show for it, right? I'm guilty. At the closing table, when we even say thank you for ultimately paying $600,000 for a house that cost 200 that is now only worth 140. That sounds like shit to me. We let advertisers and corporations tell us how we need to dress, to smell, to look, to feel, so that we can be defined as normal or beautiful. No idea what beauty is. Most of us don't question our doctors, who we are supposed to be able to trust with our health, who in many cases are paid through bonuses and perks by big pharmaceutical companies to peddle the latest drugs to cure many made up diseases, regardless of potentially fatal side effects. If I was making this shit up, Jacoby and Myers wouldn't exist. Religious leaders, the government, the media, our teachers, and the list goes on and on. And I am not blaming them or you for that matter, because we just don't know any better. But that is about to change. Once you realize that the things you have unknowingly been led to believe are nothing more than the equivalent of eating a piece of shit, it will be effortless for you to say no, no more. No one will have to tell you not to do it. And no amount of convincing in the world will ever make you do something that you don't want to do again. What you think are your problems now, your worries, your concerns, your doubt, your confusion, your fears, all of those things, equivalents to eating shit, will poof, vanish into thin fucking air. From that day on, mark my words, life will be easy and fun. You will be looking forward to whatever challenges life throws at you next. And you know what? You'll be ready for them, no matter what they are. Things that used to stop you in your tracks, gone. Circumstances, things people do to you, things they don't do to you or won't do to you. All reasons, all excuses, gone forever. Nothing can ever or will ever get in your way again. And this is not something that in time you'll forget that wears off. No. This, like death, is fucking permanent. Speaking of which, go shorty. It's your birthday. I have two gifts. Okay? Two gifts for you. I'm going to give them to you right now. But pay very close attention here because these gifts they keep on giving for a very long time. One gift is a suggestion, and the other gift is a fact. The suggestion, remember the price. Immediately after this video has ended, do your best. Fuck, you know what? Do it, you know, take a break and do it. Do your best. Get this. You should do everything possible, everything in your power to wallow in your pool of self pity and suffering. Think up every thought you can that brings up a period of suffering in your life and truly feel it. Feel as much pain as you can. Take out pictures. Take pictures. Write down the most horrible things you've experienced in your life and suffer as much as possible. I am suggesting this to you so that you can get a crystal clear picture while you still can. I say while you still can because in a very short while after this video ends, you will begin to and ultimately you will even forget what it is like to feel those horrible, filthy, never ending, and most of all, painful emotions. Personally, there have been moments, very few of them, that I miss the way I used to suffer. And then, as soon as I vaguely remember, I say to myself, why the fuck would I want to go back to that? Having a choice, suffering, no suffering. Let me think about it. I'll take suffering. Get the fuck out of here. And that brings us to your next gift, a fact. Let me tell you something about this gift, okay? I want to warn you. It's a warning. In the very beginning, at times, it will feel like a curse, especially in the beginning, straight up. That feeling of it being a curse will fade very quickly, though, and it'll be gone for good. The moment that you accept it, the moment that you accept that this indeed is a fact. Here it is. You can't go back. There's no going back to where you used to be. No matter how hard you try, you will never be able to allow yourself to feel something that is no longer there, something that you no longer have, namely suffering. The thing is, you'll know how to deal with that when it happens because we'll get into that a little later on. But and when I'm talking about, about when I'm talking about suffering, I'm talking about the total and complete loss of it. The absolute truth here, guys. In the end, these are two great gifts indeed, even if at first they don't seem like it. Could learn something there about perception. So, moving on. Once we have plowed the road, we're going to throw some high octane rocket fuel on the fire that you know has always been there, deep down, burning inside of you, inside each and every one of you. Once that fire, your fire, is big enough, it's going to start burning hot. And when it starts burning hot enough, it's going to produce a light. Your light. Yours. And once your light is bright enough, you will be able to enlighten your own path. You have no idea what that means, but you will. All right? You'll be able to travel on your path and travel on it at supersonic speed and with laser beam precision. Right now, for the time being, you're still stuck in the snow. I'm just a good Samaritan walking by and doing my good deed for the day. That's it. Bad boy, the good Samaritan. That's me. I'm an oxymoron. I've been called worse, trust me. It's time to start pushing and rocking your world back and forth until you have enough power and traction to vroom, take off on your own. There's nothing more I'm here to do. There's nothing more I'm able to do. There's nothing else I want to do. And nothing else I will have to do. And to do this with each and every one of you is what I believe my purpose has been chosen to be. That's what I want to do for the rest of my life. You'll understand why. Now, when I first started talking to you, I said that this message was for me, it was a life changing attitude overhaul, right? Life changing attitude overhaul. Overhauling your attitude, overhauling your mind. It's no different than when you overhaul your engine. For example, oh, wait, there's one difference that I will point out. Most people will hire a mechanic to do that for them. But in this case, this is not just any engine. This is the most important machine you own. And truth be told, you do not want anybody touching it. You don't want anybody to do this work for you. Have you heard the saying that if you want something done right, do it yourself? That is because nobody is going to care about you more than you will. Look at what's happened to the people who trust others with their money or people who buy things based on what experts tell them. No one will have your best interest at heart more than you will. So, you are the one that is going to have to go in there, that is going to get dirty. You're going to scrape your knuckles a little bit, you're going to bruise them a little bit. However, through the experience of overhauling my own mind, for 5 years living with it, my own engine. What I will do for you is what was done for me. I am going to supply you with the very best tools, the highest quality parts, the most up to date techniques, and a simple step by step guide so that you can overhaul your own engine yourself. And you will end up with the best engine you could ever hope to have. The instruction manual, by the way, that we will be using has been handed down to us by the wisest mechanics in the history of the world. These teachers, masters, and sages, they selflessly and generously dedicated and in many cases even gave their lives so that you and I could have everything we need to travel down the road of life and to take in the sights, empowered and in style. That being said, let's get to it. How an engine overhaul works. For those of you who don't know, that's it, 6 simple steps. Notice that I said simple, not easy. First, you pull the engine out of the car. In other words, you carefully, because you don't want to break anything else in the process, so you carefully disconnect it from everything it's attached to, so that the only thing you're looking at is the engine. We've already done that by paying the price. Forget everything you know. Boom. It's disconnected. If you're still watching, you didn't keel over and die yet. Second, Second, you take it apart. You open up the engine so that you can really see, so you can really get a clear picture of what's happening on the inside. Third, you identify which parts are worn and broken and don't work. You get clear specifically. You get the truth about what's slowing you down, holding you back, and making your life a living hell. Once you've done that, you're halfway home. Fourth step, you give your engine a good cleaning, a good thorough cleaning. I mean, even in the car engine, you don't leave behind even a microscopic speck of dust. Fifth, once you get all the gunk, all the garbage, all the shit out of the way, then you get the new parts that you need. And finally, sixth, you put it back together again. It's that simple. Again, simple, not easy. Now, the results you'll get depend entirely on the quality of the parts that you put back. Follow me? Keep in mind that this is the engine we're talking about. It's the most important part that, without it working properly to its utmost potential, nothing else really matters. Does it? I mean, what good is a car that looks good, smells good, has a great interior, and has a sound system that would make all of Harlem jealous if it goes from 0 to 60? And I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. You know? And isn't that how most of us live our lives? We do our best to look good, to smell good. I said most of us. Anyway, to sound good, you know? But most of us, we work really hard. We really hard to put on a good show. So we putter along in life, and while we might look good to others on the outside, deep down on the inside, man, we know that something is missing. That something just isn't quite right, that there has to be more to life than this. And you are correct. It's coming. For some of us, though, sadly, I've been here. Our engines are so fucked up we don't even bother anymore. We're all dinged up and banged up. We are broken and missing parts. And by the way, again, many, many years. And it wasn't that I didn't care, you know? We always care. But there's only so much you can do with an engine that just doesn't work right. So we can give up, which many people do. I tried this 4 times, like I mentioned. Or realizing how important it is, since I'm still here. So realizing that how important it is to have a mind in tip top shape that runs stronger, faster, and smoother, we overhaul the sucker. And that is what we're here to do. Now, I love engines, all engines. Given the choice, American muscle. So, out of sheer principle and love for what I do, I will not tell you to put something in your engine that I don't have in mine. Now, there are 3 ways to overhaul your engine: rolling the dice, OEM, and the balls out option, which is, in my opinion, the only option there is. And it's the only one you're going to find here. But you decide. Option number 1, rolling the dice. Most of us can relate to this option because we've done it and used it so many times in the past. Now, we chose this because either A, it was the only option that we thought was available to us, or B, because we just didn't know any better. When you roll the dice overhauling an engine, it means you shop around for the cheapest fucking parts you can find. You call junkyards. You shop no name brands. Refurbished, rebuilt, reconditioned, Raoul, and regret. You know what I'm talking about? We literally roll the dice with our life. We play the lottery, hoping despite astronomical odds that we'll be the ones lucky enough to hit it. Some people do, but the most of us don't. We try every part-time home base, no money down, small initial investment business opportunity, get rich quick scheme out there. You know those people. Talk about cheap parts. We say to ourselves, I was one of them. We say to ourselves, wow, this just might work. All I have to do is get enough people in my downline, right? Enough people to believe in me. Yeah, good luck with that one. I don't believe in me, but my family, my friends, my neighbors, and coworkers, sure, they will. Rude awakening there. Honestly, we have a better chance at hitting the lottery. Rolling the dice over and over. Maybe if I have the right person in my life, the right man, the right woman, more money, maybe the right job, the right clothes, the right car, the right house, in the right neighborhood. Maybe I'll get married or have a kid. Uh, Maybe something like drastic like that will help me, or rather force me, to get my act together. Sadly, something like that usually only makes matters worse, only now for more people, right? Ask me how I know this. You know what? Tell you what, I'll leave it up to destiny. It's superstition, voodoo. Don't laugh. I've actually tried voodoo. I went to a witch doctor once, and her prediction was spot on. She said that she saw 50-50 in my future, and it turned out she was right. $50 out of my pocket, $50 into hers. True story. Perhaps, like I did for a really long time, man. A lot of us do this. We put our faith in, or rather, we leave things up to God. Uh oh. He said the G word. Let's get off topic here for a brief moment to address that. And we will talk about it more later on. But for now, just know this: whatever you choose to call that eternal, omnipotent, omnipresent, creator of all things, architect of the universe, universal consciousness, I am, Rama, Krishna, Vishnu, Allah, Jehovah, or like George Carlin calls his, Joe Pesci, whatever you choose to call it, and whether you even believe in it or not, doesn't matter here. In the army, I'm told there's a saying that when the bombs are dropping, you rarely find an atheist in a foxhole. Bishop Tutu said, it doesn't matter whether you believe in God, he believes in you. But you know what? And this goes out to the atheists. I have tremendous respect for you, and I admire your balls to believe what you want to believe, regardless of what so many people around you are saying or telling you that you should believe. So kudos to you. And at the same time, in regards to those with religious beliefs, it doesn't matter what religion you practice or which one I do. Someone once asked me, what religion are you? And to be honest, it even surprised me the first time I said it, the first time I realized it. My response was, I am all religions because they all end up in the same place. In a live and let live philosophy of life found in the ancient culture of India, known as the Upanishads. They're also known as the Vedas, Vedanta, or the Vedantic philosophy. There is a verse that goes like this, and I think it might even be the first verse. It says, just as all streams having their origins in different places and traveling in different directions all at last reach the sea, so, O Lord, do the paths men take, rising from the various scriptures and followed by men according to their different temperaments, crooked or straight, all at last lead to thee. In simple layman terms, look, water is called water in English. To the scientists, it's H2O. In Spanish, it's called agua. It has 1,000 different names, but it is still water. God is God no matter what you call him, if you call him anything at all. You know? So do you need to give up your religion to reach this place to experience what we're talking about? No, you don't. You don't have to abandon your faith. As a matter of fact, this will remove obstacles you may have towards your faith. And at the very least, it will absolutely deepen it. So to describe that, whatever it may or may not be, for lack of a better word, we'll simply use for now God. So as I was saying, some of us that practice the rolling the dice option, we put our faith in, or rather, we leave things up to God. Thy will be done, not mine. That's what I used to say. And honestly, we know that's wrong because we know deep down inside that there are only so many times that we're going to go to God with our cell phone bill until he does, what any good father would do. He tells us, hey, my name is spelled G-O-D, not ATM. Stand on your own 2 feet. Pay your own bills. Get a job. Then what did I, the faithful, do? I said, oh, well, I guess God doesn't want me to have a cell phone this month. And that is ridiculous. I know, we all know that God only helps those who help themselves. Those of us who go on with this rolling the dice option through life, we always have someone or something that we can blame for things not working out because they rarely do. And even on those rare occasions when things do work out, they're usually short lived. More often than not, we end up right back where we started and usually worse off than when we started. And when all fail, and when everything else fails, we get pissed off and we cry out, man, if I could just catch a break in my life. And then we think about it and say, oh, okay, rather another break in life, because it's not like we don't get breaks. We get them all the time, but we are so damaged that we either fuck up the opportunities we're given or we miss them altogether. Over and over, we land flat on our face. We say we'll never do this again, and we do. Why? Why? Because for so many of us, this is the only option we've ever known, the only choice we believe we have. And frankly, we get so tired of going nowhere, of being broken down on the side of the road of life, watching others fly by us, wishing that, hoping maybe one day we could just have a decent engine at this point. It doesn't even matter have to be the best engine anymore or the best life anymore. Wrong. But we're willing to settle for something, anything that will stop breaking down on us every other day. We go from 0 to 60, God, please, no, not again. And while we're waiting for this miracle, hoping that one day a brand new engine just falls in our lap, what do? We keep patching up our shitty engines in any way we can with legal and illegal drugs, sex, alcohol, food, shopping, television, reality shows, you name it, anything to make us forget. But the truth is, no matter how much we try to ignore it, that goddamn check engine light is always on. Even though we try to hide it. We know that it's always there, always on, reminding us that sooner or later we're going to have to do something. So we keep rolling the dice as quickly as possible. We keep beating ourselves up, treating life like shit, and then we pretend, because that's what we do, we pretend that we don't even care that if others, the people around us, get hurt in the process. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Some of you know what I'm talking about. It's like when you're so pissed off at life that you go to the mall and you park your shitty car next to someone and then you swing the door open, not giving a fuck about what happens to that car next to you. And the nicer the car, the better. The more you're hoping that when the owner of that Mercedes comes out and sees their shit all fucked up, good for them. We say, welcome to the club, pal, right? You know what I'm saying? Misery loves company. That's a fact. You see someone turn on their turn signal and you speed up so they can't come into your lane. How dare they try to get in front of you? Or you try to beat that guy into the parking spot that you know he's been waiting for, or someone does that to you. And that is unacceptable. There's a word for that. It's called road rage. Anger. Plain and simple, man. Every day. And then, so that we don't feel as rotten as we know we have behaved, we justify our actions. I'm having a bad day, fuck 'em. But the truth is, although we're pissed, although ours is a miserable existence, most of us, we feel bad about our actions like that towards others. And here's what you're about to find out today, my brothers and sisters, that fucking none of this is your fault because of this silent, scratch that shit, because the last thing this thing is silent, because of this invisible evil force that imprisons us, that our attitude becomes, I'm just going to run this piece of shit into the ground and get as much as I can, put as little money into it as possible, try to get as much out of it before it fucking dies on me, which we know is ultimately, it's going to happen. We know that one day it'll all be over, and that frightens us because we know that we're running out of time and we better figure this shit out and figure it out soon. How many of us live a life like that? Have I been the only one? If not, if any of this sounds like you, then good. Congratulations. Because now, like me, you have decided that you are fed up with substandard living. You are fed up with putting your life in the hands of others or leaving it to fate or circumstance or chance, hoping, praying, and wishing. We've done this enough, and we've learned by now that it doesn't work and it never has. This time, instead of rolling the dice, you are ready to take responsibility for how your engine works, for how your mind works, and the results you get in your life because of it. You are ready to get down and dirty, to be honest with yourself, to say what needs to be said, to do what needs to be done. And you're ready to do that. If you're ready to do that, you will experience the ride of your life before it's too late. We're not immortal. We don't live forever. Now, some of us, the semi lucky ones, we smarten up a little bit. And we move from the rolling the dice option to the next level. The next way that you can overhaul your engine is option number 2, OEM. OEM stands for Original Equipment Manufacturer. OEM parts are identical in every way to the parts that originally came with your engine when it was brand new. You can expect to get the same results you've always gotten. You know, your engine will be just as reliable as the last one. This is the playing it safe option, the following the rules option, the way things are option, the way things have always been done option. We do the same thing over and over, knowing the result, or at least expecting predictable results. We know that life should be or could be better. We know that life has so much more potential than what we're seeing at the moment, but it is a comfort to know. In other words, we rationalize that others have it worse than we do. Hey, at least my life is not as bad as that guy I just saw broken down on the side of the road, or that homeless guy with the cardboard sign, or that asshole at the shopping mall who dented my Mercedes. We do what we have to do. We don't enjoy what we do, and don't get me wrong, I know that there are some of us, a small percentage of us, that are fortunately, they are fortunate enough to enjoy what they do as far as work or perhaps a passion or two in life. But even those people, most of them, will admit that they don't have total happiness, because total happiness to the OEM customer is, well, unrealistic. And they're all eager to point out to you, some of them, to point out to you that life just doesn't work that way. They say things like, get real, be careful, be happy with what you've got, don't risk it. And some of them, not all, but some of them, have a dirty little secret that they won't tell you. Here it is. God forbid that you should ever have even a little bit more than they do. You know those people. They live on Envy Street and Jealousy Boulevard. Anyway, if you ask most people, they would rather be fishing. But instead, we got to do what we got to do. And the reason why we do what we got to do rather than go fishing is because we know that we are not far behind. In most cases nowadays, only a paycheck or two, a month or two, or a disaster or two away from being the rolling the dice customer. By the time we're done with the have tos and the need tos, we're too fucking exhausted to do the want tos. Think about it. We get up every day. We get up, we shower, make coffee, breakfast, dress the kids. We get them to school, go to work, maybe work a little overtime, stop by the grocery store on the way home. Then we get home. We kick the wife, we kiss the dog, we make dinner, help with homework, pay the bills, watch a little TV. Maybe if you can, you put the kids to bed. You make sure the dog and the cat have food and water. We pass out, rinse and repeat, 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week. 50 weeks a year if you're lucky to be one of the ones who actually get paid vacation time nowadays. I know I don't. And before you know it, 10, 20, 30, 50 years have gone by doing the same shit over and over, day after day, year after year, in hopes that we're not dead, broke, or crippled by the time we have the time and the opportunity to do what we really want to do in our life. And in many cases, we have been the rolling the dice customer. And there is no fucking way we're going back to that shit. That is our biggest fear. We don't do what we want to do. We do whatever we have to do to put as much distance between us and that engine blowing black smoke all over the road. But the reality of the situation is this. We know that the possibility of becoming that person who's broken down is always there, because we see it happening so often to the people around us. And if it can happen to them, It can happen to us, or even worse, happen to us again. For that reason alone, many of us keep working jobs that we hate, where we're treated like crap, all the while being grateful for it and hoping and praying that we don't get fired, that we don't lose our income, our seniority, our benefits, for those of us who have them. But we are counting on our pensions, on those inadequate, measly benefits that we will hopefully have, or more than likely be forced to purchase for when we retire. And when we're no longer able to do what we have to do to stay away from that place of which we do not speak. Doing what we have to do rather than what we want to do in life to avoid doing what we know we definitely don't want to do. So basically, our life is a presidential election. We pick the lesser of two evils, keeping our fingers crossed and hoping for the best. I mean, and how is that fucking working out for us, What kind of life is that? Think about it, as my buddy, kid from Brooklyn says. While we can, we do our best. We take chances here and there. We roll the dice too. As soon as and as often as possible, we take up a course or a class. We invest in a business or in the stock market. Anything to propel us just a little further away from the rolling the dice guy. And to be quite honest, having that concern lingering, occupying our mind day in and day out, I wouldn't exactly call that carefree living. But we go from 0 to 60 and cool, we're here as usual. And that's not so bad for some people, I guess. But man, there are those of us, a vast majority of us, who have that itch. We say things like, it sure would be nice, I mean, if they could hear me coming. You know what I'm talking about? You pull up, screeching those Pirellis, boom, boom, bass vibrating the license plate, 20-inch chrome wheels, a paint job that shines so bright it fucking blinds people that look at it. Yeah, baby, that's what I'm fucking talking about. Are you ready for an upgrade like that or what, man? If so, you are in the right place too. Life changing attitude engine overhaul option number 3. Balls out. Balls out, baby! This is a universal overhaul kit. It is a one size fits all, meaning that it will work for all the engines, those that we've spoken about, and all the other engines out there as well. Okay, all of them. This is the only overhaul option that I, as a customer for over 5 years now, man, I totally recommend it and firmly stand behind it. This is a 5-star blue chip, platinum edition, top of the line, first class service for the rolling the dice customer that needs a complete overhaul, a complete workup from start to finish, from A through Z. We got you. For the OEM customer who, they've been working on their engines and they want to just finish tuning it up. They want to get more than just average. They want to get more than what they've accustomed to living with. Done. Works for you too. And for the balls out customer, the connoisseur of life, this buds for you. But then again, something honestly, aren't we all really a balls out customer? I mean, think about it. We all want the best engine that money can buy. We're all willing to invest, and we are doing that exactly right now. We are paying with our investment of time. And to me, that is top dollar. And I promise you, you will get what you pay for. We know beyond any doubt that if there's a chance of getting even just one more horsepower out of life, it's worth whatever it takes to get it. Nothing is more important than living our life to the absolute max while we've still got it. We also know deep down inside that we are worth it and that we deserve the absolute best that life has to offer. We strive for it every day, don't we? We know this. We feel it beyond a shadow of a doubt that living life is, to the fullest is the most important thing. It is the only thing. And the reason why we know this and the reason why we feel so strongly about it is because when you clear away all of the fucking shit and the debris, that is who we were born to be. That is how we are created. And that is our birthright to have, to possess, and to live the life of our dreams. It's a fact, as I know it to be. And it's either that or you're just a fucking badass. You're all about the hustle and muscle, the pride and the ride. You already got a pretty decent life, but man, you want the best. You want the highest quality, longest lasting, high performance parts available to mankind. Yeah. When you crank up that new engine, when you slam down on that gas pedal and it responds back to you with a rumble that shakes your very inside, we know that now we have an engine that we can depend on, that will get us from point A to point B in style. 0 to 60, and holy shit! You are all in the right place because that is exactly what we are talking about here. Today, every moment of every day of my life, and soon to be yours as well, is jam packed with holy shit! Literally. It's filled to the brim with passion, laughter, love, beauty, courage, strength, honor, faith, purpose, joy, and absolute inner peace. Many people call it enlightenment. As you know, I call it a true, never ending, ever expanding, blissful, joyous, peaceful abundance of happiness. But wait, listen, there's more. This is so much more than having a nice engine because the roads of life, they're anything but smooth, sunny, and easy to navigate, right? No. We want something durable that will perform in any and all conditions. For example, what type of vehicle would you want to be in an emergency? You want a nice, shiny BMW with tinted windows and a slamming stereo? Or do you want a high performance military version bulletproof Hummer? The most important part of this overhaul is that it takes a vehicle of life and it turns it into an ATV, an all-terrain vehicle that allows us to enjoy our ride regardless of the weather, the condition of the roads. It plows through any roadblock like a Mack fucking truck, and it comes with a self-contained, never-ending fuel source that will propel you as far as you ever want to go and beyond, to places you never thought in your wildest dreams existed. That is what's coming, people. So sit back, strap yourselves in, because if you haven't figured it out by now, you're in for a hell of a fucking ride. I'll tell you that much. See ya. Whew. 144. 1 hour and 44 minutes. Huh? No, that's not all of it. I didn't even get to my bio yet. Wow.